I trust it's not as backwards as it seems. I trust it's straight on, right at you. D in the proper direction. Basic. And we're live, left to right, as it should be in America, anyways. Toast Town, Ghost Town, Ghost Town. Who's town? Who's town? Who's town? My town? Who's town? Toast Town, Green Coast. Toast Town, Ghost Town? I don't know. Ghost Town, Toast Town? I don't know. Town, Coffee Town, don't know. Green Coast, Part 1, 2023.7. I mean, at this point, right? Fuck it all, except that which what matters. And the only thing that matters is that one thing that matters. Bink! That's right, baby. Truth. Didn't I have the truth around here somewhere? What? Social media, not invited. I'm sorry. You had your chance. I gave you like 5 fucking years short of 4 at least. The rest of y'all did it like for 24, 25. That's a quarter century in my book. Calculator. No. This is just mano imani. You and me, baby. Just me and my thoughts and my pen and my paper. In my head, in my video camera. And a private link to myself so I can review what the fuck I'm... You know what I mean? Mort Krim. Now there's a fellow that went on adventures. This is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but, because that's all that matters at this point, right? Mr. Brooks, you're doing a great job. Where are you? Stay away from that tuxedo squirrel. Ain't what you think. Hey, stinky one. He nasty. Woo. Stay away from that nasty squirrel. Presents himself in a tuxedo. You know they canceled that fucking. Can you believe it? They canceled that rapist skunk on the TV. Makes you think. At this point, if you're canceling rapists, I mean, you know what I mean? Where's the world coming to? You might as well cancel. Okay, they had a point. You're not supposed to do that. That fucking skunk on the TV. I would think I should leave. No, you should stay. But it's cold outside. No, you should stay. But it's cold outside. No, you should stay. Just stay. You should stay. But baby, it's cold. No, you stay. I'm a kitty cat just like you. I'm not a... You stay away from that tuxedo squirrel, Mr. Brooke. Okay, well, the man's a hunter, right? We know this. Oh, I got a text message from Blaze. The man's a hunter. We know this. Framing. Right. He's gonna hunt for a squirrel. That's what he does. Tight. Real tight. It's all about your fucking face. Nothing else matters but your fucking face. This is what we call, I don't know what we call it. Tiago can teach me when the time comes. It's all about fucking face. Or square it off later. Yeah. Hello, I'm searching for the truth. Just like the rest of us. Ooh. I'm gonna blow past a lot of this because we already got done in the other. We already fucking did it, and you can't move on unless you can't progress unless you move on. You know what I mean? So that's what we're gonna do. First of all, are you on? I go to YouTube. Go to my fucking channel. Oh shit. Creed Coast. Live shit. Damn. What? No, I'm just saying. What? Yo. Oh, we're not doing this now. We're not doing this now. Humma, 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 humma. Humma, 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 humma. Humma, 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 humma. Humma, 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 humma. I don't think we made it that far, so I'm going to start right about there. Adam McKay, who wrote, produced, we sat sprawled on the couch nearby, his coat slung, his necktie pulled away from his collar. He was cheating with a couple of movie critics. A few feet from McKay, Fred Willard and Steve Carell had struck up a conversation with Roy Shields. It was the kind of party where you couldn't walk to the bar without tripping over at least one Hollywood star. McKay had grown up in Philadelphia, the city where the late Jessica Savage and I had co-anchored news on KYW-TV in the 1970s. The decade described in Farrell's movies as a time when anchormen were beyond legendary. We were gods, narrator Bill Curtis intones at the start of the movie. The Anchorman movies were spot on of the exalted place TV newscasters occupied those days before cable and 24-hour news. In most major markets, there were only 3 television stations competing for the news audience, those affiliations with ABC, CBS, and NBC. That's American Broadcasting Company, CBS, and National Broadcasting Company. I know the BBC, with such limited competition, Bill Curtis salaries for top anchors in big cities rivaled those of many professional athletes, and we were accustomed to limousines, first-class airline tickets, invitation parties, and the best tables in restaurants. For the anchorman, and in those days, nearly all of them were men. There was always a gaggle of female admirers or groupies, and we were constantly approached by autograph seekers. It was a heady time to sit a big city anchor desk, and occasionally some egos did spin out of control. But most major market anchors were actual journalists who could think, write, and report. Only a handful at all reflected the arrogant buffoon portrayed by Farrell in the movies. How I had become a centerpiece for the Anchorman movies was detailed in the Rolling Stone article. Farrell told the magazine he got the original idea while watching a Lifetime documentary about Jessica Savage, in which I had been interviewed. At one point, they were talking to this anchor, Mort Krim, who was basically saying, I was an asshole to her. What made me laugh was watching him. He still spoke like this. Farrell's voice grew gaseous and stentorian. He said he based Ron's inflictions on his memory of mine. He still used his on-camera voice. The Rolling Stone article included a photograph of me with the caption, Real-life Anchorman Mort Krim, Farrell's inspiration for Ron Burgundy. Well, Will apparently thought I had one voice for doing interviews, and another for describing space launches, and another for ordering ham sandwiches or reading stories to my grandkids. I have been blessed with a good set of pipes, and Will wasn't the first person to parody my voice. When my current wife Renee and I started dating, her son Randy answered the phone one day, and in a mocking basso said, Mom, the voice of God is on the phone. Farrell thought the tension that had initially existed between Jessica and me could be developed into a satire about local TV anchors. McKay then dug up old videotapes of our newscasts on KYW-TV for Farrell to review. That is how Mort Krim and Jessica Savage morphed into Ron Burgundy and Veronica Corningstone. Shortly after the second movie was released, a friend said, Mort, why don't you write a book and tell the real Anchorman story? All I can say is be careful about making such a suggestion to your friends. They might just take you up on it. Oh, I do want to assure you that all the stories in this book are true. To the best of my recollection, diaries, notes, and tape planners based on a true story. However, I have substituted a few names out of respect for some characters and their families, both living and dead. Chapter 1, The Calling. Fabio. Rhythm. Sweet. Mr. Brooks. That all is well. All is quiet on the Western Front. My mother loved children. She would have given anything if I had been one. Groucho Marx. I don't get that one. It's opening night and hot as hell. Page 7. A place I'm determined to help ye sinners avoid. They stand in front of me, hymnals open, voices loud and wholehearted. I am thine, O Lord, I have heard thy voice, and I know that thou art mine. The music and its strong declaration of faith are setting the mood for the powerful and convincing sermon I'm about to deliver. Don Quixote never attacked a windmill with more fury than I am feeling toward the devil tonight. The small church has no organ and no choir. There is no carpet on the floor, no padding on the long oak pews, no drape on the undoored wooden pulpit. You find no carved stone here, no stained glass windows, no statues of saints. Such affections are for Episcopalians and Catholics. The Church of God in Devlin, Illinois is a simple and austere, and the members are humble proudness. The song director stands behind the pulpit, waving his arms in time to the music as the pianist hammers out the familiar old hymn. A few sweat beads dance on the director's gold-rimmed glasses as he works. He is dark-haired, has a slight paunch, is wearing a short-sleeved white shirt, and, like most of the men tonight, is tieless. All the windows in the white-frame sanctuary are open, but there's no breeze to offer relief from the July heat. Some women try to keep cool with paper fans donated by a local funeral home, its name imprinted on one side under a green weeping willow tree logo. I look over the crowd from my vantage point a few feet behind the pulpit. They are mostly middle-aged men and silver-haired women, with a few younger folks here and there. It's gratifying to see that every pew is filled. Why, there must be close to 150 people. Sister Evelyn Barrett, the pastor, had assured me there would be a good turnout on this opening night. I silently count because the size of the crowd will affect the size of the offering. My income for these revivals is whatever gets dropped into the clay, some dry cleaning, and for some gasoline to get my 1939 Plymouth coupe the next engagement. Sister Barrett is a stocky, short woman with cropped, sandy blonde hair and the rich, commanding voice of a prophet. Strong, but not manly sounding. She probably pushes her voice more than she might today, as this is 1951, and preaching is still mostly a man's world. But the Church of God is ahead of its time and has been ordaining women from the time of its founding in 1880. But the Church of God is ahead of time and has been ordaining women from the time of its founding in 1880. It's not gender, but calling that matters. And Sister Barrett's Bible-waving gestures and earnest declarations tell you she knows she has been called of God to save souls and spread the word. Fucking fly. As the congregation sings the final verse, I glance at my King James Bible and review Romans 10:13, the text I've underlined for tonight's sermon. For whoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. That's what my revivals are all about, getting people saved and leading them into a new way of life, keeping them out of hell. It's clear that most of those here tonight already have accepted Jesus as their Savior. The enthusiastic singing surely is coming from people who know the Lord and who have repented and turned from their sins. My focus now is on those sinners in the crowd who've never accepted Jesus, as well as those who may have strayed from the faith. And of course, any Catholics or other so-called Christians who have never been born again. One of our core beliefs is that people who haven't been born again aren't really Christians, no matter what church they belong to. I believe you're born every fucking day. And that's just me. I'm listening. I'm a little fucked up because I drank. Nigga. I drank, nigga. That's just me. How blessed I am to be an evangelist. How blessed I am to be an evangelist. How blessed I am to be an evangelist. How fortunate to have grown up in a home and a church where we know the truth. Capital T, truth. God is declare as I step up briskly to the pulpit waving my Bible. And he loves you. I can feel the Holy Spirit. Didn't you sense God's presence during those wonderful hymns tonight? I am passionate. I am confident. I am 16. No wonder the pews are filled. There has to be a lot of curiosity about a boy barely old enough to drive and still dabbing clear as samples, who can preach, sing, and play the accordion and piano. Sister Barrett has pulled out all the stops to advertise my appearance. These are ads in the local paper, interviews on the radio station, and an airplane hired to drop leaflets all over town. Teenage evangelist Morton Crim in a revival at the Devlin First Church of God. Hear this dynamic young man preach and play the piano. We're going to find that church. Devlin First Church of God. And we're going to go. Devlin First Church of God in Devlin, Illinois. We're not going on a fucking bike. Dang. All right. It's right outside St. Louis. Bang. Devlin. Deva. Delavan. Van, Illinois. Woo! Okay. Had to stop. First. Delavan. First. Church of God. First. Okay, Google. Delavan First Church of God, Devlin, Illinois.
Here are some results from a search.
Charleston, Illinois. Well, we know it was in Dublin, so somewhere in there. I'm guessing. No longer exists. Definitely not Charleston. How about Church of God? How about any Church of God? Blue Moon. Blue Mound, Illinois. Hamilton, Ohio. Okay. This opening night crowd doesn't know it yet, but during the offering, I will be treating them to a jazzy piano version of When the Saints Go Marching In, while a black cloth covers the keyboard. This has nothing to do with God, but is a little showmanship I picked up while watching a piano player on late night TV show. If I got the preaching gift from Dad, my flair for show business probably came from two aunts who had performed on the vaudeville stage. Revival. Morton Krim, 16-year-old evangelist from Hamilton, Illinois, will speak at the Church of God, Blue Mound, Illinois, at 7:30 p.m. each evening, beginning Monday, December 10th. Everybody welcome. H.C. Pickett, pastor. Church of God, Blue Mound, Illinois. H.C. Pickett, pastor. H.C. Pickett, pastor from Blue Mound. Boom. Bud Pickett. Okay. Oh. Thank God the son of a bitch is dead. My Aunt Lillian Morgan shouted gleefully upon hearing the radio bulletin of President Roosevelt's passing. Thank God the son of a bitch is dead. My Aunt Lillian Morgan shouted gleefully upon hearing the radio bulletin of President Roosevelt's passing. It would be decades later with the election of Donald Trump before I should say right up front, the Krim family divided pretty much into two groups, the religious and the, well, not so much. Aunt Lillian was part of the not so much. She ran onto the front porch, eager to bellow this wonderful news to the neighborhood, dressed in a loose-fitting pale blue gingham house dress, her gray streaked auburn hair protruding from under a kerchief tied in the back. The frumpy matron bore scant resemblance of the professional singer and stage darling she once had been. My father's half-sisters, Lillian Morgan and Vivian Safur, were the show business side of the Krim clan.
They had played the Keith Orpheum. They had played the Keith Orpheum vaudeville circuit and the Billy Terrell tent shows for several years, along with Aunt Lillian's husband, Jack Woods, a comedian, infamous for painting his protruding ears bright red and performing under the stage name Unconscious. These aunts regaled my sister Barbara and me with glamorous tales of life on the road. Performing under their maiden name as the Livesay Sisters, they claimed to have shared the stage with such Hollywood luminaries as George Burns, Milton Berle, and Red Skelton. We didn't know if it was all true, but there was no Google in those days to check such assertions, so Barbara and I were happy to believe them. They had also sung and danced at Detroit's famed Fox Theater, where Aunt Vivian caught the eye of a local bail bondsman, Alvin Safer. She and Al married, and when her show business career ended, they settled into a swanky apartment on Detroit's then prosperous Boston Boulevard. We thought it was neat that Uncle Al played poker and smoked cigars and drove a big Chrysler. He was the first Jewish person we'd ever met. I was only 9 when President Roosevelt died in April 1945, but I vividly remember Aunt Lillian's joyful reaction to the news. FDR was a socialist and liberal, so in Aunt Lillian's view, his demise was good riddance. It would be many years before I learned the real story about this remarkable president and how he led our nation out of the Great Depression and through one of its most terrible wars. But in that moment, when much of America was plunged into mourning, my aunt considered the legendary leader's passing a cause for celebration. Aunt Lillian wasn't alone. West Frankfort, Illinois, about 50 miles from both the Kentucky and Missouri borders, and culturally more southern than Midwestern, was a bastion of ultra-conservatism and racism. Blacks were not allowed inside the city limits after dark. That may have been a tradition instead of an actual ordinance, but in West Frankfort, it had the force of the law. And the Krim family was as staunchly Republican as anyone in town. While the Krim family was as staunchly Republican as anyone in town, they seemed free of the racial bigotry that thrived in the region. I believe this was due to my grandparents' Christian belief that all people are created equal, including the coloreds, as African Americans were called in that polite society at the time. I believe this was due to my grandparents' Christian belief that all person, and I lived with my grandparents so that Dad could attend college in Indiana while Mother worked as a waitress to support him. My sister was close to our grandparents that we called them Mom and Dad, never Grandma or Grandpa. And they were pivotal influences during my growing up years. In fact, I have no memories of my parents before I was 5 years old, but vivid memories of Ma and Dad Krim. Mary Frances Krim was a kind woman, never harsh nor judgmental toward anyone, and ready to hand a sandwich or a piece of leftover chicken to the hard luck hobos, then called tramps, who showed up at the back door with some regularity. She was blessed with a wonderful sense of humor and had the most charming habit of cupping her hand over her mouth whenever she started to laugh, which was often. Mom Krim's mostly gray hair was always pulled into a bun at the back of her head, and she never wore lipstick nor jewelry, not even a wedding ring, since her church viewed such Mom Krim's mostly gray hair was always pulled into a bun in the back of her head, and she never wore lipstick nor jewelry, not even a wedding ring, since her church viewed such adornments as worldly and not appropriate for good Christians. It was a nightly ritual for Mom Krim to read to me from Ergomir's Bible storybook. And by the time I was 6, I knew Noah, Daniel, and Joshua as intimately as any kid today knows Han Solo, Captain Marvel, or Harry Potter. My Bible heroes had superpowers that were just as magical. When I learned that all of them were Jewish, it made me feel much closer to Uncle Al. So we had so many clergy in our family, we could have started our own denomination. And because my father and his twin brother were ministers, it was as natural for me to play preacher as it was for other kids to play cops and robbers. Whoa. Mort Krim said I preached my first sermon at the age of 5. Mom Krim said I preached my first sermon at the age of 5. Mom Krim said I preached my first sermon at the age of 5. By her account, it was a fire and brimstone homily delivered to an unsuspecting neighbor boy. I thought he was badly in need of religion because I heard him say damn and hell, and everybody knew that good Christians never say damn or hell. Well, not the ones who went to our church, at least not where we could hear them. How long is this fucked up? Mom had once taught English and believed that proper grammar was a virtue right up there with godliness. She must have had me convinced because pulling my grandfather's padded radio bench to use as a pulpit, I looked straight at my young friend seated on the floor, shook my finger at him, and proclaimed, "If you keep saying ain't and other bad words, you're going straight to hell in a fucking handbasket, bitch." I should note that it was all right to use hell as a noun, and our preachers did so regularly as they campaigned to keep people out of it. I've often wondered if that dramatic commentary on right and wrong marked the beginning of my brief foray into the ministry and ultimately a career at the TV anchor desk. Dad Krim didn't attend Mom's church. He was an elder in the first Christian church founded by his father. He was West Frankfort's only judge, and he looked the part, tall with a dignified bearing, always a three-piece dark suit, his white hair and neatly trimmed mustache adding to an air of distinction. Dad's family traced its roots back to Germany, claiming that the first ancestor to arrive in the U.S. was a nephew of the famed Grimm brothers who wrote the fairy tales. A good friend once chided me that with fairy tale writers as ancestors, it's no wonder I became a TV newsman. Dad Krim's office was in City Hall, next to the jail and the fire station. Before I was old enough for school, he would take me to work with him and sometimes pretend to lock me up in the city's two small cells. I found this delightful. West Frankfort rarely had any real criminals, mostly an occasional disorderly drunk, so the cells were always available. Nearly. I also enjoyed climbing around on the city's only fire truck. The firemen, like the policemen, didn't have a lot to do. My grandfather had no secretary, no clerk, and no assistant. He personally typed his own warrants, affidavits, and other legal documents on an upright royal typewriter while seated at his plain wooden desk, his unlit pipe standing upright on a small oak stand next to a tin of his favorite tobacco. An evening after one of Mom's wonderful home-cooked dinners, Dad would retire on the swing of the front porch with a pipe or cigar and wait for neighbors to drop by for evening chats. He enjoyed telling me stories about his early years as a cowboy in Wyoming and how, when he was a teenager, he once met Wild Bill Hickok. He never elaborated, but I knew Hickok was some kind of Western hero, and I was impressed. We didn't have babysitters, but Mom Krim found time to do her housework by looping a clothesline rope around my waist and tying the other end to the big elm tree in front of our yard. Occasionally, Paul Ramsey, a part-time preacher, full-time cab driver, stopped by in his taxi, untied me, and took me for rides, a special treat since Mom and Dad didn't have a car. Today, leaving me alone and tied to a tree would no doubt get Mom Krim hauled up before Child Protective Services, and Paul Ramsey would be charged with kidnapping. Who the fuck is texting me yet? Oh, is it Blaze? Oh, yes, I remember that. Hold up. Shower? Bro, you never said anything about a shower, bro. Damn. Bro, you never said anything about a shower, bro. Damn. Long shower, by the way, but beggars can't be choosers. I mean, what the fuck? No comments from the peanut gallery. What the fuck am I trying? I'd be a hypocrite if I said anything about the length of your shower, because my God, do I have a long shower. Well, he's insisting on being a watchdog, so I'm going to let him be a watchdog. But it was 1940. West Frankfort was a trusting, Mayberry kind of town where church was a central part of life. Mom's church was appropriately called the basement church. After the congregation completed the basement, they ran out of money, so they put a roof over it and held services underground until they finally were able to top off the structure years later. The basement church was where we sang, prayed, attended Sunday school and revival meetings, and listened to testimonies and sermons. Lots of sermons. Mom and I were in our pew every Sunday morning, every Sunday and Wednesday evening, and every night of the week during revivals, which sometimes ran for 3 weeks. Mom attended quilting bees in the church on Tuesday afternoons and carrying suppers at least once a month. Life was pretty simple by today's standards. I was 5 when my Uncle Alva installed my grandparents' first indoor toilet. Until then, Dad kept a chamber bucket, which the old-timers called a slop jar, tucked under his bed. One of the most memorable evening rituals was my grandmother removing her false teeth and dropping them into a glass of water with baking soda so they could soak and clean overnight. Maybe pollen hadn't been invented yet, but more likely this was just cheaper. So that's pretty much the picture of this anchorman's start in life, born into a family where one side forbade cursing while the other called the President of the United States a son of a bitch. A motherfucker. Where many relatives wouldn't go to movies or wear jewelry while others danced and sang on the vaudeville stage. Where some refused to smoke, drink, or play cards while others freely indulged in all of these sins and were probably never more we never knew about. For me, this variety of beliefs and lifestyles was fascinating. And as I grew up, both the power of the pulpit and the excitement of show business captured my imagination. Working as a teenage evangelist gave me the best of both worlds. I got to perform every night for the Lord. How did I learn to preach at such a young age? The same way I learned to do carpentry, by watching Dad do it. But if it was Dad's preaching that had drawn me to the pulpit, it was his twin brother's crusades that inspired me to hit the road as evangelist. Before I could become an apostle, I had to work as an intern. And that, my friend, leads to Chapter 2, The Apprentice. Which leads to this whole purpose of Toast Town Creed Coast. Creed. it's scary shit. This is some scary fucking shit. This is the real shit. Toast Town Creed Coast. Sure you want to fucking play? And this is real fucking no joke shit. Right? Still got it. I got you. Yes. Yes. Got you. Oh, come on now. Oh, come on now. Grab me something, dude. Grab me something, bro. Grab me something. I got you. Gotcha. Fucking shit, man. Grab me something. Grab me that Coke bottle over there. You getting this? Shit, I'll get it right here. You put the code as me. Dog. Hi. 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 I'm gonna grab that fucking Coke bottle over there just to prove a point that I got you, that I got this. We got this. Together we can fucking, you know what I mean? Figure this shit out. Well, I had it anyway. You believe me, don't you? Oh. This is truth. I got it. I got it. One way or another, I got it. That's all we're doing, baby. That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing here. Fuck IG, I guess. Fuck Facebook. Fuck Meta. We're just doing pen to paper. Pen to paper. Real fucking shit. Real fucking shit. Find the truth. Because I know what I saw is what happened. So, I show you the facts once. Right? You have 2 decks here, right? This is some real shit. I mean, if you want to play, this is like R13 shit. Some real fucking shit. Some real shit. Yeah, the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. This is Creed, man. This is Rocky 9, man. This ain't fucking around, dude. Not fucking around, man. Wait a minute. I thought this thing was 4x4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 5x5. 5x5, my man. You. Yeah, it's red and blue. Red and blue, baby. All right. I'm not playing games. I'm presenting to you 52 facts of what I saw. And the other 52 are the cards. Want to play with me? You assign the value to what I saw. It's recorded in history. It's up to you. I'm going to show you once the fact. I'm going to show you twice the fact. The third time is my deception. I cut my hair short so you don't think I'm a beast. Why would I do that? Because I'm a fucking beast. I'm the criminal. I'm the cop. I'm the cop of the future. You understand? I'm breaking in your shit every time, Nico. God damn it. You know this. I have the key, bitch. Besides the voice of your father, my godfather, tells me to. I'm an asset to the building, you ass. Also, I'm a cop. So what are you going to do? Also, I'm an employee to the lumberyard, of which you are our best customer, and you owe us lots of money. And you would not pass inspection. I could report to the city like they. Shut your ass down like they. I'm not going to, because I want to live there. I want to be an ass, fresh produce. All right, I'm doing way too much. So, I assigned 52 things to red one or the blue ones. Well, if I lived, my blood was boiling. I'm assigned to the red ones. And then you decide their value. See what I mean? We can play all night. Play all night. And live. You get it? You get what I'm saying? You get what you see what I mean? Grab my Bible, dude. Grab my Bible, bitch. Grab my Bible, bitch. Grab my Bible, bitch. It's going to require the special touch napkin. Probably a fucking finger, dude. Alright. Nice to meet you.